Welcome to another episode of UEN's PDTV. In this episode, we have traveled to Park Valley School to learn how Principal Melissa Morris and the educators at all three schools she leads utilize interactive video conferencing, or IVC, to provide their students with the expertise that they need.
The schools and community that I serve, I have three schools that are in the rural northern Box Elder County. I have Snowville Elementary, which is K-5 with 19 students, Park Valley, which is K-10, and that has 23 students, and then Grouse Creek, which is K-10 with 7 students. We're just a small ranching community. Most of the students, they live on ranches and their families just generational ranching, and they're hardworking kids.
EdTech Competency 3B focuses on facilitating learning through collaboration, specifically providing opportunities for students to engage virtually with experts, teams, and students locally and globally. Throughout this episode, we'll learn how the educators at Melissa's schools utilize IVC technology to connect to experts and students from around the state, all supported by the Utah Education Network. So what are some of the challenges that you and your students face as you're trying to educate them in this rural community?
Some of the challenges that we face are highly qualified teachers and being able to have education in the right background, especially when we get to secondary education. We have a teacher currently who's our secondary teacher that is endorsed in PE and Spanish. But as far as our language arts, our science, our math, that's something that's hard. So that's why we're grateful for the IVC equipment and the UEN to help sponsor that. It gives us qualified teachers and the specific, core content that they're teaching. At Park Valley, the way that the teachers and classrooms are set up, I have a teacher who teaches kindergarten through 2nd grade, and they also have one para that helps assist them in their curriculum. I have a teacher who teaches 3rd through 5th grade. They also have a para to help with curriculum. And then I have a teacher who teaches 6th through 10th grade. She does mainly 6th through 8 curriculum, but she also does PE for our older students to make sure they get that credit. We have release time where the students leave the site and the campus and go down to seminary. And then we do have the IVC, which again is just core content to make sure that they can get that curriculum and those education requirements for graduation.
And you didn't mention grades 11 and 12. For those who aren't familiar with that system, what do they do?
The students who are in 11th and 12th grade, they cannot go here. So we actually have host families in Tremont, which is about an hour from here. And it's usually somebody that the family knows, a relative. My kids stayed with somebody that we ran cattle with, and they move into their homes. The district provides an allowance, a housing allowance, as well as a transportation allowance for those kids to stay there, and they pay some rent. They have gas money back and forth, but yeah, they move in or are a part of a host family for the 2 years while they're in high school.
How has the UEN distance education system helped you with these challenges that you face?
So the UEN education system has helped us greatly. When I was started here in 2003, there was one IVC system. It was very clunky. We just had 10th grade classes. We would have to have 9th grade students in the 10th grade curriculum. With this IVC system, we now have two classrooms, two sites that it's originated from, so that they get actually 9th grade classes, 10th grade classes, all of that is there. It's also enhanced just because, like I said before, the teachers are specialized in that curriculum and our students are able to have a qualified teacher teaching them instead of just somebody who has limited experience in that core content.
So what role does IVC play then in your overall educational strategy?
Interactive video conferencing plays a big role. Our 9th and 10th grade students, as well as some of our students who are 7th and 8th grade, have classes from Bear River Middle School and Bear River High School. Their health classes come from there. Their math, language arts, science classes, several of their core content classes that come from there. And so it is where they are here in Park Valley with a facilitator, and their teacher is again in Tremont, it's 100 miles away, and they are just part of a classroom. They have a TV in there that they can see their classmates. They have a microphone that they can talk with their teacher. They can ask questions. They're able to communicate back and forth with other students that are same age, so have that social as well as being able to get that help with their own curriculum.
We didn't expect for IVC to be the source for those core curriculum areas, the math, the science, the English language arts. we were picturing that it was maybe all of the electives. To me, that makes it seem even more valuable. Like, no, this is really how we're connecting to those highly qualified teachers and giving the students those opportunities that they really need and deserve.
And the reason why we do that is because, again, when they move in 11th and 12th grade, they do not have their parents. They do not have somebody to help them support with their homework. So if we can do all their core content here while they've got support at home, that's what we want to do. And so they can have those fun classes when they're living with the host family and don't have the support that they need to be successful. UEN is amazing with their support and their services. Every summer we have a training where we have the providers, Kim Christensen comes out, as well as some techs. They make sure our equipment is working. They train our facilitators, they train our teachers before school even starts. They know how to use it to make sure that the students, it's not clunky, that they can project whatever they need to. They can make sure that their computer's working, their Elmo's working, that everything's ready for those students. Their tech support, if we ever have a glitch or a class is not connecting, we can call them and they're on the phone helping us. We have on-the-spot support for those students so they can make sure that they're not missing anything in their classes. And then they're also great at other classes, just offering support. Do you know what this other school is doing, so that we can stay up to speed, and just everybody else, we're just right there with everybody else in the state. Also great, it's just when new equipment comes out, they want to make sure that our students have the top of the line and the best equipment so they can, again, just have that amazing support for their education. Our staff thinks it's an invaluable resource. Again, just the weight load that it's taking off of someone's plate to just know that they have support in teaching those students those curriculums is number one. I also feel that it's support with IVC, just helping them collaborate. We actually use it for PLCs, and they can collaborate with their teachers in town, so that's another support that we can have for teachers so they're not all alone and isolated in their planning and their strategies, which is great. It also offers support that it's just experiencing people with new technology, and so it makes them step out of their comfort zone and try something new, and if they know it's for the best of kids and they're willing to do that.
I really think that's kind of the overarching theme here, is we're doing what's best for kids, and UEN and IVC is helping that to happen. I hadn't actually thought for some reason about the professional learning component, and that they can actually have a PLC to work with and these teachers to collaborate with. So again, as you said, just one more way that it is ultimately supporting the best possible education we can give these students.
And another support, as you were talking about, that is, I am the principal of 3 schools that are 2 hours apart from each other, and I can't be in all places at once. So when we need to have a staff meeting, or we've had a drill, or need to talk about something, we can utilize the IVC equipment at the other schools, and we have a great staff meeting that way as well.
You mentioned that your own children have utilized the IVC program in their education. How has that shaped your feeling about the overall program?
Having my children participate in IVC, I was a little nervous. Again, it's hard to teach or learn from somebody that's not in front of you, and you maybe don't want to speak up or you don't want to talk, especially when you have no idea that there's 100 kids on the other side of the TV and they might make fun of you, or when you get to class, you're just not sure your confidence level. But watching my kids go through it, they became a self-advocate. They were able to work with teachers and build strong relationships. Both of my kids were able to graduate early because they were able to get their core content here, and then when they were able to go into town in 11th and 12th grade, take concurrent enrollment, PA classes, they went to Bridge, again, all of those. So it helped them be who they are and be successful. It also just gave them confidence that I don't think they would have had if they hadn't had that opportunity, because it does take confidence to get on the mic and ask a question or ask a clarifying question in front of your peers. It's also, it just builds connections, because when they went in there, it made it so when they did go into that school, they knew people. And so it wasn't like they were all alone. It's like, hey, I had a class with you. And do you remember when we did this assignment? And it just helped them so they could feel more accepted when they got to town.
In what ways have you seen UEN's IVC services prepare students for success?
I think IVC prepares them for success, again, because they have those social skills. They're able to use technology, self-advocate, talk about things themselves. I also think that technology piece and being prepared, they don't have somebody in the classroom helping them, and so they have to be responsible. They have to turn in their work digitally. They have to, again, just If there's something they don't understand, they're emailing their teacher, or they're emailing them and saying, hey, I need some extra help. Can we meet at claw time or an intervention time? So they are having to do that. It prepares them for the workplace, because how many times do you have to ask questions if you don't know something in your job? You're going to have to seek help. And so it's just that same thing. And if I don't know how to do something, I'm going to ask. Technology is a part of everyday life, and we have to use it. We have to apply it in everything we do. So the IVC is just giving them more skills to be an amazing individual and help our society.
Well, thank you so much for letting us come visit you out here in Park Valley and for telling us all about your school and your use of the IVC system.
Thank you, and thank you guys for coming and sharing our story and being able to help us make sure our students are educated with this invaluable piece of equipment that we just utilize every day.
Now that you have seen EdTech Competency 3B in action, consider how you can implement this competency in your teaching as well. First, start by really analyzing the needs of your students. And then ask yourself if you're able to meet those needs within your own school building, or if it would help to reach out to experts outside the walls of your classroom. If you need experts from outside of your school, then consider what technology can help you connect with those experts. UEN's distance education services can support you in the tools to connect you with experts outside the classroom. As you've heard, they can support you with IVC services, but they can also support you in the use of Zoom, Canvas, WebEx, and Cisco Meeting Server. For even more ideas, resources, tools, and strategies to help you implement this competency, be sure to visit uen.org/PDTV and access the teacher toolkit that accompanies this episode. Thanks for watching UEN's PDTV. To access more professional development resources from UEN and to schedule a training, visit uen.org/development. We'll see you next time.